We are taking your relationship calls. So, dear Abby in the house here, over at the Ben Shapiro Show. Garrett in Wyoming, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show.
Dear Abby, HasanAbi.
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Oh, it's going okay.
I was just wondering, should I ask a girl out or should I try to keep the relationship and not ruin the friendship? What should I do?
You should ask the girl out. So I'm a big proponent of being very straightforward when it comes to relationship stuff. I think.
Oh, this is everything I wanted. Okay. Ben Shapiro does chat advice. Okay, listen. This is going to be 17 minutes of fucking pure bliss, okay? I'm so horny for this video because it's like he is going to tell you, hypothetically, we should go on a date right now because if we were to touch hands and also maybe even kiss, inevitably in the future, hypothetically speaking, we would be doing something against the will of God. Therefore, hand-holding and kissing should only be done within the boundaries of a hypothetical relationship. It logically follows that you and I will go out on a date in the near future, respectively.
It is a horrible idea for guys to try and sort of ingratiate themselves with girls and then become friends, and then maybe we'll see where this goes. Number one, there is the serious danger of being friend-zoned, meaning that once a girl starts to think of you as a friend rather than as a romantic interest, that could be a serious problem. And two, you could invest an awful lot of time in building up to a relationship that you actually are not particularly interested in because it turns out that you're romantically interested in someone, and it creates an awful lot of tension. You know, I tend to be of the when Harry met Sally mindset when it comes to can men be friends with women. And you can be, I think you can be friends with women if the boundaries are very, very clearly set. And this is particularly true if everybody's already married. So, for example, I'm good friends with...
Wait, he's like actually kind of woke on this? It's weird. But the friend zone part is like kind of silly because like he's still looking at it from the point of view of like, well, actually, you're investing a lot of time and energy on trying to be in a relationship with a lady friend when instead you could be using that to own the libs in the marketplace of ideas. And friend zone is kind of dumb, but like overall, when he's talking about like men and women can be friends, I mean, he's right. Have you escaped friend zone ever? Friend zone is not a fucking real concept, and here is why. Okay, are you ready for this? Or like a friend zone that you can escape, or a zone that you get put in that like could potentially change. No, people either want to fuck you or they don't. Okay, it's a binary. If it's a binary and if it's a 1, you can turn that 1 into a 0, but turning that 0 back to a 1 is like pretty fucking hard. And what I mean by that is people either think you are attractive and physically and want to be with you potentially, and then they get to know you so they can completely figure out if they want to do that or not, or they don't and they don't see you that way, and they very likely will not see you that way, and you're just wasting time with a ridiculous assumption that maybe you can like show this person that you are interested in them eventually. It's not going to happen. Okay? Like, if you have gotten out of the friend zone, that means you were never in the friend zone to begin with. Okay, that's just how it works. It's just memes for the most part. It's also Hollywood bullshit. That's just how it works. If you think you got out of a friend zone, that means you were not in the friend zone. You're in the friend zone. You're in the fucking friend zone. You're not getting out of the friend zone. They've done studies that show repeated interaction with the same person can increase the likelihood of attraction. This is why most relationships start from work or school. You're kind of wrong on this, G. Okay, what you are failing to recognize here is that despite the repeated interaction with the same person, that person still ultimately and originally thought you were someone that they could be in a relationship with. They might not have even recognized it within themselves at first, but it's still a binary. It's still a 1 or a 0, and you were in a 1. Okay? Okay?
Elisha Krause. Elisha and I have known each other for a very, very long time, and we've known each other when both of us were married. And so it was always obvious to everyone that this was never going to be a thing, nor did either of us want it to be.
And this is not exclusive like women either. Like, for a lot of people, their 0 to 1 binary scale, their 1 is a lot wider. Okay, the scope of the 1 is a lot wider. You're a dude, it might be a little bit wider, where you think everyone's a 1. You're just horny and desperate. You're asexual, your 1 is non-existent. It's just, you have no 1. It's just 0. You don't want to fuck anybody. It was different for everyone. That's not a binary then? That's a sliding scale? No, the binary is that you either see yourself potentially fucking someone or not, and it can change from a 1 to 0, but it won't change from a 0 to 1. You're confusing asexual with aromantic? Wait, what?
This is a deranged pervert.
Hasan, I love you. Will you please marry me?
There are girls out there who think everyone's a 1 as well. Sex is temporary, Allah is eternal. Yes. Are you ignoring the power of alcohol? Bringing a 0 to a 1? That seems a little too rapey to me, so we're not even going to discuss that. Jesus fucking Christ.
A thing. But when you're single, particularly, those boundaries are really, really weird. And it gets weirder if you end up in a relationship and then you're still hanging out with a girl who is single, or if she's in a relationship and you're still hanging out with her and you're sort of a third wheel. So my typical feeling here is that you should be straightforward. I think the biggest mistake guys make is not being straightforward with girls when it comes to this sort of stuff. I think it's a huge mistake for men to sort of edge around and take their time. My strategy was always pretty straightforward. Again, I would, if I thought a girl was attractive and I was interested in her, I would walk up to her and I would ask her out to coffee, and then we would see where it went from there. Because at least now the parameters are clear. I'm a big fan of clear parameters, Garrett.
Thanks, Ben. I know this will help me out in a lot.
I legitimately am shocked. This is actually not the worst advice.
A lot of other people.
Well, I appreciate it, Garrett. So, yeah, have some courage, guys. What's the worst that happened? She says no. All right. Well, you know, your life ain't over. Elias in Florida, you're on the Ben Shapiro show. Go for it, Elias.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going, dude.
All right, man. So I'm a big fan of your show. I've been watching you for a while, and I have some questions here. So, or just one question. So I know when you and your wife were dating, you guys set some parameters as to what your beliefs were and kind of like what your principles were. But sometimes you unexpectedly fall in love with someone in your friend group or maybe a coworker or a classmate. And so that happened to me. I was with a girl for 5 years, but if I had chosen her from the start, I would have known that, you know, me and her had different.
Absolute himbo take. If you can be successful and or funny, many women will find that more attractive for longer than physical beauty. Wait, are you fucking dumb? At what point did I fucking imply that like the only thing that motivates you to fuck someone is physical perception? What? Yeah, if you're fucking funny and successful, that is a quality that will increase your likelihood that women will find you attractive. That puts you in the one category. If we're specifically talking about this from heteronormative point of view from the male side, okay? I need to qualify it this way because there are plenty of people that don't fit that scope, that narrow scope in this circumstance, that are in the chat currently. Did I say hetero? It's not a binary that only operates in the one direction? No. How can you? Why is it only a binary if it's physical? Why could it be? Why couldn't like your qualities also fit into that binary? Physicality has like, or your physical perception has just as many differences or just as many subjective, it's still open to subjective interpretation as anything else, like as humor and as anything else, okay?
Different beliefs. So my question is, when you have different beliefs with someone who you really like and you fall in love with and they share the same thing, do you still pursue the relationship? What do you do? If you are pursuing the relationship, what happens? Me and her drifted apart because we had different beliefs in the end, and that kind of made us drive apart. So,
yeah,
is this something I could have done differently, or are these relationships just doomed from the start?
So I think that habit is one of the worst things that can happen to a relationship. Habit happens to every relationship, by the way. This always happens. It happens within marriages. If you share values, that's fine, right? If you don't share values, then you can be stuck in a rut with somebody who you really have no future with. This is why when people tend to live together before they're married, the divorce rates are higher than if they actually just get married without living together. Because if you have marriage on the brain rather than living together on the brain, then you actually look for the values from the outset. Jonathan Haidt writes in his book, The Happiness Hypothesis.
Bro, who the fuck lives together and never considers marriage? What? What? What a fucking weird thing! Like
Hasan.
Hi Hasan, thanks for everything you do.
Okay,
Don't feel bad about
that's a
taking
really
the break. You
weird. A
deserve
lot
it,
of people.
Hasan.
I mean, eventually, if you're in a relationship, like you are moving towards a more serious form of a relationship. When you're getting, hey, to all the fucking 20-year-olds in the chat are telling me right now, well, I'm about to move in with my girlfriend and I'm not thinking about marriage. Hey, guess what? Spoiler alert, you're going to be thinking about marriage. Maybe not immediately, but at some point, it's going to cross your mind, okay? I say this as someone who has lived with a girl in the past. I don't know if this sucks or not. I ordered a sandwich, and I feel like it sucks. Ugh. It does suck. Like a gas station sandwich.
That the basic form that marriages and relationships tend to take is in the first couple of years, you have extremely high passionate love and very, very low companionate love. Companionate love meaning things that you share, values that you share, sort of the love that builds up over time that is different from the I got to be with you every minute, I'm itching to be with you, which tends to very often manifest in physical ways. You see this in every marriage. It's not unusual. It is scientifically based. And what you have to realize is that after the first couple of years, that's going to wane. I mean, that is just a natural thing that happens. It tends to wane, and companionate love tends to replace it. Well, the problem is that if the basis for companionate love is not there, namely shared values, the willingness to build a life together, then things are going to fall apart. So what I've always said to people is, it's even more true for girls than it is for guys, actually, for women than it is for men, is that if you get into a relationship, the fear of being out of the relationship becomes more of a barrier to breaking up than the actual attractiveness of the relationship. People will stay in relationships for a long time because they're afraid of the alternative, as opposed to because they want to buy in. And so they'll stick around in a relationship they know is not working longer than is necessary because they don't have the courage to think, okay, what else is out there? With whom else could I form a deeper relationship? So if you fall in love, this is why I've always said, I said it on Joe Rogan's show.
I'm actually eating a salami sandwich, and it sucks, but this is the first time I'm eating a salami sandwich on stream. Ben Shapiro is correct, which is weird. It's from Uncle Polly's, but it sucks.
Show, I maintain it, that if you are interested in a long-term relationship, you have to first make that switch in your head, and then you have to decide who fits the bill for that, as opposed to, quote-unquote, falling in love with somebody, and then you decide you want to be in a long-term relationship, where the check marks are just not the same. I mean, it'd almost be like, okay, you start a business, and you're now looking for somebody to fill a particular role. That's a very different way of seeking an employee than you've been friends with a dude for a long time, and now you're starting a business, and you kind of like this person and your friends, and so you hire them for the business. The former is likely to work out because you've actually tried to tailor what you are looking for to what the actual requirements are. The latter is unlikely to work out. You end up hiring your friend, he ends up being a schlub, and now your friendship is on the rocks, and it's really kind of stupid because your friendship is on the rocks and they're a bad employee, right? Like, the same thing happens in relationships. People tend to not think rationally about relationships, which makes sense because so much of it is passion, but if you know going in what you are looking for and what you are looking to do with the relationship, you're much more likely to seek important factors. And if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody where there is no future, all you're doing is prolonging the agony by continuing it, Elias.
He's kind of spitting,
Thank you so much,
dude.
man. I appreciate that.
Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, Julius in Maryland, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show. Go for it, Julius.
His name is Hasan.
Hi, Ben. Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, so I have a question about
How is no one trying to troll him?
something you mentioned a few minutes ago. I think was your first call. So there's this girl who I've been friends with for a while, and I asked her out, and she said no, but she wants to remain friends. I guess she said she doesn't want to jeopardize the friendship. So I'm kind of caught in two minds here because, like, I wanted to become more than friends, but she doesn't want to be. So
Yeah, don't count on it.
yeah.
Don't count on it. Once she said that she wants to be friends, that is her way of saying that she does not want to be anything more than friends. So now the question is, do you want to be friends? And the answer is probably no, right? Not because you can't be friends with somebody, but because you're thinking in different terms, right? What you want from the relationship is a thing that's never going to happen. And so, thinking of yourself as like the backup guy is really a bad way of going about it. You're just putting yourself in a position for her. And also it's awkward for her, right? Because
Oh my God. He's literally just so right. This is so weird. Why is he so right? He's literally saying exactly the same shit I say, but in like an annoying debate lord kind of way. This is a little scary, dude. This is weird. I don't like this. I don't like
His
how much
name
I'm
is
agreeing with this
Hasan.
motherfucker,
It's
dude.
really uncomfortable hearing truth from Shapiro. Feels weird, man.
Yeah, this is fucking weird as shit, dude. It's not good.
she knows that every time you see her, you're probably thinking about wanting to be more than friends. And so what exactly is the upside for her? I've never been a fan of the, I don't want to go out with you, but I still want to be friends. Well, you know, I got a lot of friends, frankly. Like, and if I wanted to be friends, I wouldn't have asked you out. I don't ask out my friends, right? Like that's typically not a thing I do. So yeah, I think it's a mistake. Guys tend to do this. They tend to hang around thinking, well, maybe I'll get lucky at one point and she'll change her mind. No, if she wants to change her mind, she can change her mind whether you are hanging out near her or not. And in fact, may in fact be an inhibiting factor for you to be quote unquote friends because she feels like she has the convenience of being able to call you and talk to you about all of her life.
I'm losing. I'm going to lose viewers because next time I do Chad Vice, y'all are just going to be like, oh, we don't need it anymore because we went to Ben Shabibo's broadcast and got the exact same advice anyway. What a remarkable change. Like, this is the exact opposite of what I thought would happen, where we are now watching a guy who very openly has stated he can't get his wife's pussy wet and is like kind of proud about it. And yet he's spitting hot fire.
Problems without actually having to engage in a serious relationship, Julius.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I mean, you described the situation perfectly. I mean, make a lot of sense, man.
Appreciate the call, Julius. All righty. Ezra, New Jersey, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show. Go for it, Ezra.
Hi, Ben. How are you? Thank you so much for answering my call.
You bet. Go for it.
So my question is, should a man wait till he has the resources to properly get married, or should he date freely just to have fun?
He should never date to have fun. Dating to have fun is because you're an ass.
Oh, okay. It took 8 minutes, but you should never have fun. You should never have fun.
Seriously, this is really, I think dating for fun, first of all, dating is not fun unless you're dating because you really have very little care or compassion for the person who you are dating. Because, I know that we live in a society where consent is the only value. And consent is an extremely high value, right? It is a necessary requirement. But it is necessary but not sufficient. Okay, just because someone consents to do something does not mean, as we have learned, that they are going to particularly find that thing fulfilling or wonderful. Like, you know this in any relationship you have with somebody that you actually love, which is that just because someone consents to do something doesn't mean that they actually want to do it. They may be doing it for you. They may be doing it because they feel there is not a lot of alternative. Now, in a business transaction, all you're looking for is consent. But I don't think that love is a business transaction.
Wait. I mean, this is true as well. this literally can be applied. If he fucking applied this to, is he about to apply this to capitalism? I'm losing my mind. Oh my God, what is happening? Woke Ben Shapiro? Like, what? He's right. He's absolutely right about enthusiastic consent versus unenthusiastic consent, or even coerced consent. Like consent under coercive circumstances. Correct argument, wrong point.
I think that love is supposed to be about something more than that. Relationships are supposed to be about something more than that. I know that men find it very convenient to boil down all sexual relationships into mere issues of consent. And now the feminist movement has bought into this as well. But if you care about somebody, then consent is just the first step, right? Then it should be, why are you consenting because you actually would like to have a relationship? Would you like us to have something more long-term? Like, if it's just, you know, if everything is purely on the level, then that is one thing. But very rare, that really only happens on TV, right? The notion that guys go up to girls and they're like, you want to have one night in the sack and let's do it. And the girl's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's just for fun. Like, that is not the way that people tend to actually engage with sex, particularly not women. One of my favorite social science experiments.
His name
Wait, why
is
not?
Hassan.
Wait, what?
Hypothetically, for the sake of
Ben
argument,
Shabibo,
let's
the
say
woman
I have been
understander,
signed to
has
large
logged
for 9
on, baby.
months. Now,
That is
speaking,
so
that means this
insanely
stream is very
false.
enjoyable.
It's
That
so
is simply a
incredibly
fact.
fucking
Love
wrong.
you, poo-poo.
That is a patriarchal POV right there. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, women don't want to have hookups. They only want to get married. And then the double bind there, of course, is they're sad because if they do want to have hookups, it's actually because they still don't want to have hookups, but only want to get married, and they can no longer do it under feminism.
It's ever done. There's this great social science experiment that was done at a college where they sent an attractive girl into a bar and they asked her to basically walk up to 100 guys and say, do you want to spend the night? And out of the 100 guys, like 97 of them were like, absolutely. And then they sent an attractive guy into a bar to ask girls, would you like to spend the night? And out of 100 girls, 0 of them said yes, right?
What, did he watch a YouTube video? Dude, these studies that these people talk about are conducted like fucking, like YouTube prank shows. What the fuck? I never, yeah, it's like, I watched a Joey Salads YouTube video in which a sexy guy got 100 women into saying that they want to have a one-night stand.
Men and women do not think about sex the same way. And it is very flattering for men to believe that women think about sex the same way that men do. They do not. Okay, there's a lot more emotional attachment. This is why, for example, in surveys of sexual satisfaction, one of the main factors in female sexual satisfaction.
Ben Shapiro, again, my wife's pussy has never wet Andy is like, let's talk about all the studies let's look at the metadata about how female sexual satisfaction works. He's not wrong about like how certain people can feel about sex overall, but that again doesn't mean that like women don't want to engage in hookup culture or that only men want to engage in hookup culture. I think that's so dumb.
Satisfaction is always the depth of the relationship, is a level of comfortableness, right? Men,
whereas for men it doesn't matter.
Doesn't tend to be really a factor. Is the comfort level.
I want to see this study. God, these studies are so fucking stupid. But I really do want to see the study that he's talking about. Like, women don't engage in hookup culture, therefore men only sleep with men. Everyone is gay. It doesn't apply to a certain gender, but to the individual. Yeah, I know. I saw this study online where a dude approached strangers and then fucked them in a taxi. Wait, me too. I have been literally studying. I've been studying this for years, okay? One of my favorite studies conducted by, I forget where it was conducted, but there's a guy, he has a camera, and it's a job interview, and he fucks them on this black couch. And it's crazy. It's 100% of women who enter the job interview have sex with this guy. as long as he asked them nicely. Yeah. So, you know, that's, and I've been just studying. I've been conducting studies, and I've been looking at studies.
Excuse me.
My whole life.
I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
About this particular issue that we're talking about.
For women, it really matters an awful lot. And so if you are dating for quote unquote fun.
Yeah, there's some great research coming out of the Czech Republic on this topic in particular. Yeah.
It's because you actually don't care enough about the person you're dating to make it about more than fun, Ezra. And I think that that's a shortcoming morally.
So, Ben, well, what about, I'm talking about like the financial resources. Like a lot of men, especially now, they're unemployed. Especially I live in New York. A lot of people are unemployed. They basically living off unemployment. Should we start dating? Or
Lies. He said he was from New Jersey originally. Lies.
we wait till the economy gets better?
Well, I mean, are you intending on getting a job, and then are you intending on getting a job at some point? Like, I don't think that I think you can get married.
I started my own company, and I'm waiting. Right now, I'm not getting a salary, but I started my own company recently.
Yeah, so I mean, if the understanding is that you are going to be dating for marriage, and that in the course of that marriage you are going to increase your income, then I don't think that marriage is the chief gap there, right? I think that marriage and finances are a lot more separate than having children and finances, frankly. I think that two consenting adults can get married understanding they're going to experience financial hardship, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing.
I love this, dude. This is great. This is great.
Most people, when they get married, are a lot poorer than they are
segment.
later on in their marriage, just because people get richer as they age. But having kids is a different story. You want to bring kids into a situation where presumably they know where the next meal is coming from. Getting married is a bit of a different thing. I think that you can get married when you're not making a lot of money, and I think that that's not only not bad. I think that can be in many cases quite good. I think that having kids when you don't have enough money to support the kids is a different story. I appreciate the call, Ezra. Frankie in Michigan, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show. Go for it, Frankie.
Pervert.
Hi, Ben. So I have a question for you. My boyfriend and I are both gay, and we've been questioned how we can be conservative despite being gay. I say it's because I value things that conservatives do, like...
I love my boyfriend and I are both gay, he said. Oh, really? Hey, Ben, my boyfriend and I are both straight. Now, they could be bi, okay? One of them could be bi, certainly. I know. But they're calling into the Ben Shapiro, show. So I don't think bi visibility is anywhere near their brains, okay? I'm reminded of the brilliant fucking The Boys sequence where they're like, Maeve, your partner is a lesbian. She's like, well, hold on. Maeve is actually bi. It's like, no, well, traditional couples or American poll numbers show that traditional gender stereotypes work better in a lesbian relationship. It's easier to sell you as a lesbian than bi. It's such a good fucking show, man. It's really good. Muted just in time. Ben is picturing who he's talking to right now. To be honest, when I was dating my ex, we would say lesbians even though I was bi. Yeah, I feel like I ruined the joke. I did, yeah. Where one is more masculine. Yeah. Terry got fucked by... What?
Like, I'm even against how Obergefell was decided, which really baffles some people. But I guess my question is, how do I explain to people that conservatism isn't necessarily anti-gay?
So
Ben, give me the talking points to lie to myself and also my friends and family. Please, Ben. But most importantly, to myself. Because it's getting very hard to cope.
I think that conservatism is about the idea that a limited government exists in order to protect your rights, and that we as individuals have God-given rights. That doesn't mean there's not diversity inside the conservative coalition with regard to how people feel about the morality of homosexuality. It does.
Just don't fucking adopt, because you are lower rung in the adoption scale. Even if you are a two-parent household, you are lower rung than a cisgender heterosexual normative relationship. That's the normal. So I will do everything I can to make sure that we limit your opportunities in adopting children.
Does mean that when you are talking about government policy and what government's role is in society, you can have broad agreement that a limited government is a good idea, and that really has nothing to do with sexual orientation. Frankly, I'm sort of bewildered by the notion that if you're in favor of a small government that intervenes less in people's lives and gives them more freedom.
In favor of a small government, unless it's to, destroy Muslims overseas, in which case I'm in favor of a large government.
That somehow this cuts against the ability.
I'm in favor of a small government unless it actually directly interferes in the adoption processes that allow homosexual two-parent households to adopt children. I'm in favor of a small government unless it's literally to fund unless it's literally to ban abortion, which is murder. I'm in favor of a small government unless it's to give more funds to our already massive, bloated, and increasingly more violent, increasingly more militarized police force.
Ability of any gay person to be conservative. I know plenty of gay conservatives ranging from Dave Rubin to Guy Benson, and all they say about this is that their priorities
So two. You can't say ranging when you mention two.
Politically match up with the Republican Party. By the way, there are many people inside the Republican Party who personally believe on a moral level that homosexuality may be a religious sin. Right? I'm an Orthodox Jew. That is something that Orthodox Jews believe, and also believe the government has no role in regulating this sort of stuff. I mean, I was libertarian on gay marriage before it was cool to be libertarian on gay marriage, Frankie.
That's literally false. Ben Shapiro wrote articles about how English classes in college make you gay. And here he is lying about it now. He literally wrote articles about how English classes bimbify you before other motherfuckers started writing about it. Actually, no, a lot of people were writing about it. Yeah. Not even bimbify you, turn you into a homo. Or whatever the fuck he wrote. What was it? It's fucking insane. Did you guys, please someone send me the article. It's like pure fucking bigotry, okay? Literally like bigotry to a fucking, okay. Hold on. All right, we gotta pull this. Gay English class. Wait, why can't I find it? Gay English on the rise. Wait, why is it not coming up? Did they delete it? No, they deleted it. Militant gay English on the rise. Oh, thank God. Okay. Picture this. Your son goes to the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. The day before fall session begins, Billy tells you that he wants to major in English. It's not the most useful major, but then, again, it could be worse. So Billy returns to your school with your blessing. After finals, Billy comes home for vacation. You ask him what he learned this quarter. I learned how to be gay, he answers. A stunned silence. Yeah, I took English 317, Literature and Culture. You learned how to be gay in an English course? Sure. The title of the course was How to Be Gay, Male Homosexuality and Initiation. It fit my schedule. And by the way, there's this guy named Jim I met. I know you love him like, well, another son.
All the food you ate on stream ever.
Such a scenario may sound far-fetched. It shouldn't. How to Be Gay is a real course at the University of Michigan. Come on! Come on, dude! I'm a libertarian in favor of a small government, except for when it comes to our private institutions teaching and public institutions teaching children how to be gay. The funniest thing about, like, homophobia, is, like, I've never wanted to suck cock. Like, I don't understand. Do you have this, like, weird, uncontrollable urge to suck cock? And if you do, then you're probably gay. Like, you should try it. I'm serious. 29 fucking years on this planet, and I've never been like, dude, I just want to suck this cock. If I wanted it, I would do it. You wanted to suck the Rock's titties, though? Okay, that is the opposite, okay? Like, the point I'm trying to make is, if English class turned you gay, you didn't turn gay. If you're so fearful that, like, seeing homosexuality on your TV is going to turn you gay, then you were probably gay, and there is nothing wrong with that. And you should be excited that there's more representation of queer culture on television that will normalize it. That's the point. People literally tweeted last week that homosexuality is just about controlling your impulses. Check out the whole tweet. It's wild. You don't get the physical urge until after you've tried. It's more like general attraction at first. That class was meant to help people who are already gay learn gay culture. Is literally the description, lol. Do you think The Rock has body dysmorphia with those titties? I don't know. Got great titties though. Lol, you actually think sucking dick is gay? Can be. Dude, I feel like if you learn ancient Greek and Turkish history, it's gonna make you gay. My point is, you don't fucking turn gay. All right? You don't have to go to Ann Arbor to learn how to be gay. You just need to tune in the train stream. Honestly, Hasan, I was homophobic until I came out as bi. I felt weird around gay people because it made me feel uncomfortable with myself. I genuinely hated myself for those thoughts. So you're right. He never said you turn gay, use your brain. This is cope, dude.
His name is Hasan.
I love you, chat swoon.
Okay, with this Ben Shapiro article of militant gay gyms on the rise, because ever since I started working out, I've been feeling an uncontrollable urge to start admiring some of those muscle titties. That's why I said, you work out. That's why I was joking about it earlier when I said, if you work out, you become 25% more gay just immediately by working out all the time. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's the only way you can actually turn gay. Gym culture is very homoerotic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks so much for that, Ben. And congrats to you and the Daily Wire team for moving to Nashville, too.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. All righty. Kenny in Indiana, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show. Go for it, Kenny.
Hey, Ben. It's great to be on the show. I'm calling. Me and my wife, we've been together about 10 years. We have 2 children. And I've obviously been into politics quite a bit. I listen to your show regularly, and I follow quite a bit of other political sources as well. My question really comes to is my wife has just absolutely zero interest whatsoever. So I'll get her to go out and vote every 4 years. She pretty much votes however I do, which is great, I guess. But I'm curious what your thoughts would be like. How would you go about, getting her more involved in it and something that she would, take an interest in? What would be some suggestions you may have for that?
So number one, if she's not interested in politics, I think you might want to count yourself fortunate, Kenny. Frankly, it doesn't sound like she is deeply invested in politics. That's okay. My wife is not deeply invested in politics. Like, she finds it interesting, and she finds it sort of interesting on a baseline values level. And she'll listen to my show when she's in the car or something. But I think
that's
that
not the only
building
thing your
a
wife
life
is not interested
around
in,
a certain level of assumed shared values is fine. It doesn't mean you have to discuss politics all that often. This is what you have friends for. I have lots of friends I discuss politics with far more often than I discuss politics with my wife. I think the real danger comes when you have directly opposing political points of view, because usually that reflects underlying values gaps that make it difficult to build a life together. But frankly, find something else to talk about. I mean, like I rarely talk politics with my wife. It's very rare, especially because we usually agree. So, you know, there's lots of other things to talk about, like our kids, the life that we are building together. We talk about the Bible. We talk about entertainment options. We talk about lots of different stuff. Politics tends to be pretty low on the list, though.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate it and enjoy Nashville. I'm sure you'll like it a lot better.
Thanks, Kenny. The Daily Wire will definitely enjoy Nashville better than California for a whole variety of reasons. John in Arizona, you're on the Ben Shapiro Show. Go for it, John.
Hey, John. Sorry, man.
No worries. Go for it.
I'm just a little nervous. I'm a huge fan, and I'm 16, and I was just wondering. I just don't see. I'm going to the University of Arizona soon, and I was just wondering, is it possible to marry somebody that isn't conservative, doesn't have conservative values? And because a lot of my friends, they don't like America. That's, you know, the whole thing when you're young for a lot of kids. So I was just wondering, how is it possible to date or marry somebody that doesn't, you know, have conservative values?
Don't do it. And when I say conservative values, I don't mean votes Republican. I mean shares values about how you want to raise your kids, your values on gender, your values.
Do it. What the fuck? My man said, don't do it. First of all, if you're a 16-year-old watching the Ben Shapiro broadcast, you have very limited options to begin with. So if someone is foolish enough to date you, I think you should just go for it. Okay? You might even change. You're 16, you're very young. You might even grow up a little bit. Your opinions might change. But if you're 16 watching this show, you're already a fucking Chad. You don't need my advice. There's hella 16-year-olds and 18-year-olds and shit that I've given advice to that are already like, dude, I'm already having sex with like 3 girls. I don't know what to do. Like, how do I say no to the 4th girl? I'm like, come on, dude, stop. Chad, you were chuds at 16. True.
The American people are tired of
I'm 17 and I watch it. Lol, not a conservative though. Just interesting to watch. I mean, we are watching it too, but he's just so fucking garbo usually. This is actually the only time where he sounds human. Even then, he sounds like a fucking robot, but it's just every other fucking conversation that he has is just like, it can be reduced to black people bad. We want limited government, except for all the fucking things that I just mentioned earlier that implies that we want more government there. White people are oppressed. Blah, blah, blah. I'm 15 and I'm happy I found the stream. Got a chud phase 4 years ago, but I'm a leftist. Did you know that Jordan Peterson's daughter has a kid with a tanky? Yeah. I heard. Why is he speedrunning the callers? He's the opposite of me. Yeah, he went through like 4 in 17 minutes. I can't go through 1 caller in 17 minutes when I'm doing
on
Oh.
morality and sin, your values on religion, right? I think that the more things you share in common in terms of core values, the more likely your relationship is to be successful. You know, it seems that simple common interests in entertainment choices is not going to be enough. So my answer is don't. How do you date somebody who is different from you politically, like radically different and committed to that radical difference?
As a child, you can definitely be confused with your sexuality. Some gay people are militantly straight because they don't want that sort of attention towards them. Wait, what? Are militantly straight because they don't want that sort of attention towards them? It's the opposite now where it's hip for groups of kids to be bi or gay? Wait, what? You can be confused about your sexuality and then you fucking grow up. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. What does it mean to be, it's hip to be fucking gay and bi?
We're going to follow you.
I'm 20 and both me and my partner belong to the Socialist Party Scotland, the Committee for Workers International, sister party in the USA's Independent Socialist Group. Yeah, it's picking a fight again. Mr. Theory. Or actually, I don't know. Miss theory.
Wet
I don't
ass
fucking know.
B-word. Make that pullout game weak.
Happened to me.
Love
I
you,
wasn't a
Hasan and
homophobe, but I
Chet.
was a straight ally who felt he needed to distance himself to protect from bullying and just feel like a good guy. Gay for the
This is a
summer until the
deranged
hype dies down.
Pervert.
I don't understand. Like, I don't fucking understand. It's hip to be gay bi when you have to, then you have to prove it. I need every straight man in this chat to suck me off. Schedule an appointment through my Google Docs form. Okay, Gorbachev, chill out. I don't know why Ben thinks that politics matter in relationships doesn't define anything. I mean, he just doesn't want you to raise a fucking godless son or daughter. This motherfucker's holding another news conference? Bro, the president doesn't sleep, dude. Like him or hate him, he is absolutely working overtime. He's the hardest working president, dude. Holy shit. I want him to work less. I really want him to work less. I wish he would stop working so hard because he's fucking up the country every time.